Hi guys, it's me Kanike, and I'm staying here next to Sean, who is going to explain all about the IFI Black Label.
Alright guys, so before I even wrap this up, if you hear a little bit of noise in the background, right now as I speak, there's actually the St. Patrick's Day parade going on outside, and it's actually starting on this street, so this has been a very interesting experience to say the least. I'm here to talk to you about this guy right here. This is going to be our Micro iDSD Black Label. Retails for $5.49, and we like to think of it as the Swiss Army knife for headphone solutions. And what this is essentially a transportable DAC / headphone amplifier. And what makes this piece so special is just how versatile it is, especially for the money. Essentially, when you buy this amplifier, it doesn't really matter what headphones you own, how difficult they are to drive. This has 4 watts of output power, and it can drive pretty much anything on the market. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a closer look at the Black Label, and I'm going to explain to you what makes this unit so special. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with the front. And up here what you're going to notice is a high quality volume control. This actually uses an unusually high quality volume potentiometer. And it's important to mention that all of these features work in the analog domain, so there's no digital switching going on here. It's all 100% analog. So as I mentioned earlier, we're really big about giving you the flexibility to mold the kind of sound that you want to experience. And on the front here, we have 2 features called X-Bass and 3D Holographic. Now what X-Bass does, well, quite simply, it just gives you more bass. So if you have headphones or in-ear monitors and you want a little more bottom end, just hit the switch, you're going to get more bass. Or maybe you're just a bass head and that's just what you want to do. Either way, the feature is there for you to use and enjoy. Now 3D Holographic is going to be something for the person who really enjoys that wide immersive sound stage. So if that's something that you do, if you want to feel like there's a performance taking place all around your head, just hit the switch. And if you really want to feel like you're in the middle of a performance, hit it all the way up and there you go. Now, if you don't want any of this stuff, just leave them completely down, and that actually defeats the circuit, so you get a very linear presentation. It doesn't at all affect fidelity. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over, and I'm going to explain what all this unit does. So first and foremost, we have IE Match, which is something we sell separately for $49.99. And this is for those of you who use in-ear monitors. As most of you guys know, in-ear monitors can be really, really picky with the kind of equipment they match with. They can sound noisy, you can get your ears blasted off. And what this does is, well, that eliminates all those issues. You can use any in-ear monitor on the market and it's going to sound great. In fact, you can even tailor the sensitivity. So if you have really sensitive in-ears, all you have to do is hit a switch. It's going to work just fine. It's going to sound wonderful. Now, moving on. Like I said, we really like to give you guys the option to tailor the sound to your liking. And in order to really help you out here, we have filters. And what these filters do is it helps you to color the sound. For example, if you leave it in standard mode, that's going to be more or less the IFI sound, which is going to be very linear, very neutral, and uncolored. But if you like something with just a little bit of warmth, all you have to do is hit a notch, and you're going to get just a tinge of warmth to the sound. And if you really like a lot of warmth, just filter it all the way up, and you're going to get a much warmer presentation. It'll sound more like a Class A, a true Class A amplifier. So moving on, we're also going to have a polarity switch. Now this is actually a very trick feature that goes unrecognized with a lot of people, and that's because most people don't realize that I would say over half of your recordings are actually out of polarity. And how you can usually tell is if you're listening to your music and suddenly you switch to a song that sounds really thin and lifeless, odds are it's just out of polarity. So all you want to do is just hit this switch. I can guarantee you it's going to sound fuller and it's just going to sound better. We also have different power modes. So if you're somebody who uses in-ear monitors, you don't need all 4 watts that this has to offer. Just hit it in eco mode and you're going to be good to go, and you get to save on battery life. Now, if you have normal headphones, just put it in normal mode and there you go. And if you have very difficult to drive headphones, you put it in turbo mode and that gives you access to the full power bandwidth of this amplifier. Also, the DAC section is going to be using very high quality Burr Brown DACs. And this is going to be, we're really proud of this because unlike a lot of DACs, you can't just buy one off the shelf and put it in a unit. You actually have to design a circuit around this particular chipset. So what we've ended up with is something that's very natural and very clean sounding. And lastly, this DAC, even though it's meant to be transportable, you can also connect it to your computer and defeat the battery entirely. So if you're somebody who's really big into DSD and DXD and you want to use all the way up to 512, all you have to do is connect it to your computer, and there you go. But back to the Black Label. So the Black Label is essentially, like I said before, it's a Swiss Army knife. It doesn't really matter what you own. It's going to work brilliantly with just about any headphone on the market. It has a wonderful DAC section to it, and it just accommodates a huge variety of listeners.
So what are you saying? Why should I buy this product instead of any other brands?
Well, to be honest with you, most of our direct competitors make really good products, but what makes ours stand out is the fact that it's just so versatile. With other manufacturers, usually what you get is what you're stuck with, whereas with the Black Label, you can really customize the sound in order to accommodate your equipment or your personal tastes. So that really gives us a leg up because it just fits so many people's lifestyle and personal taste. All right, guys, so that pretty much covers it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy listening.